All right, guys, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's Friday is doing pretty well. Today, we got Ninten. He is a CS major Splatoon lead production at Endgame TV. Friend for probably about 3 years, I think. I don't know exact date. Actually, you can take a look at that real quick. So it's been since 2016, so 4 or 5 years round, 4 to 5. I'm bad at math. But anyways, he is also our Minecraft dev to pretty much the Feb server. He kind of helps out everybody and helps me out a lot. So everybody, welcome to 10 to the show. Let me change the scene quick. Oh wait, oh, they can't even see you. I forgot to do 1 sec. They can't see you or hear you because they don't like you. No, okay, you're blaming a 10 for totally distracting me on this. He's like, your webcam's not working. I was like, what? My webcam's not working. The 10 is the new streamer. Yes, the 10 is the new streamer. I'm actually giving him my key right now. What I just pasted him was my streamer key.
Is this where I oops. Oh, I can't place those there? That's dumb. Is this where I gotta like stop and get set up and ready to do like a full stream production at 5 in the afternoon?
That is true. That is true. So we decided to, or I should say me, well, I guess the stream too. We kind of had a collective discussion about what the stream should be, and I've been watching I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I watch a lot of streams. Well, not a lot of streams, but mainly like Devin Nash. He tends to have people on a lot. And did you get the game up, by the way?
Yes, I did get the game up.
Okay, cool. So I thought it'd be kind of a good idea to do something like this. I felt like I've been lacking a lot of like personal connection but discussion. I feel like I don't really get as much discussion as I'd like. Did you get that code I sent you?
What quote?
The code in Discord for
yeah.
Okay.
Does it have me on here now?
Yep.
I pressed play. There we go.
Okay, yeah, cool. So we're just gonna kind of go over we're gonna play some games while we have some discussions and just have a good old time. And you have quite a history, so I'd like to kind of really start off with that. Pretty much what I want to know what got you started in Twitch. And I think it's your turn. Oh, it's my turn. Never mind.
It's your turn.
It is my turn.
So the history of my Twitch channel, that is definitely a bit of a weird one. So most people probably tend to make their Twitch channel to go watch streamers or interact in chat sort of thing. Mine was actually just because like I wanted to try streaming. I don't know. Like the first stream I did was actually was weird. Back in the day, Minecraft actually had like a built-in stream function where you could sign in with Twitch, and it would like you didn't have to use OBS or anything. It would just stream directly to the Twitch that you signed in with. So that was my first stream. I think was with Chayton actually.
Oh, okay. So that was your very first stream. Do you know like exactly? I guess I don't need to know exactly, but how long ago was that? Like 2015?
I took notes for you. It was August 2015.
Oh shit. Okay, so that was a long time ago.
A long time.
How did you find out about Twitch, like the platform in general?
I don't remember specifically, but I definitely think Twitch was one of those things just kind of like YouTube. You just kind of heard of it, and then it was just in your mind from there.
Okay. Yeah, because no, for me, I think back to so this is when I was really big into like StarCraft, and there's this one streamer called Maximus Black, and he still streams to this day. Now he does GTA roleplay, but I came across his channel because he was part of a duo that did a series called When Cheese Fails, and it was like a StarCraft content, and basically like they did like commentary on When Cheese Fails basically. And then so I caught one of his streams one time, and he was playing Rust actually, like when Rust was first initially came out, and it was like very popular, and it was just like super vulgar, and people were just talking about raping each other and so on and so forth.
Ooh.
So that is actually my introduction to Twitch, and because of that, then I started, slowly starting to try to stream. I think the very first game I ever tried streaming was like Mega Man, and then I moved on over to like StarCraft and stuff like that. It was just a slow progression for me. But so you don't remember your very first streamer though, huh?
Not really. I mean, like, the first streamer I think I watched was maybe not on Twitch. The first streamer I remember watching was the Healthy Cow, who was a Minecraft streamer. I think does like Roblox stuff now. Um, but this dude would stream. It was pretty much like I remember it was always like Friday nights after school. I'd like come home from class and just be like plop out the laptop and get on and play some games. And it was a nice community. Especially I remember that specifically. But like Twitch, you were probably the first Twitch streamer I started watching like
Oh shit. Okay.
religiously.
That's okay. That's a long time ago. That's fair though. I mean,
Yeah.
because I guess you're coming into your adulthood, right? So, I mean, I caught you probably when you're like in your late teens. Oh, what happened here? My turn. Okay, one sec. I gotta focus here. I'm getting my ass whooped a little bit, so I gotta kind of come back here. I can't let this happen.
I think
Okay,
we're even.
that's true. So Minecraft was a big catalyst for you, and that's
Mhm.
fair. I think majority, especially since a lot of Minecraft tends to be skewed towards the younger generation. I think that's usually a good stepping stone for a lot of new
Mhm.
people to find Twitch and so on. So then, since we were talking about like Minecraft and all that, like what eventually got you into like coding for like the Minecraft server and all that? Like, what directed you on this path that you are now on?
Ooh. So way back in the day, we're probably talking 2014, 15. Yeah, it had been around that time frame. Uh, there was this Minecraft server that I really liked to play on, and I was like, you know what, I know computer things kinda. Can I? They were like, yeah, sure. So I learned a very small amount of Java and started learning programming. And then learned about this thing called script, which is like you can code in English sentences. And I was like, wow, I can learn things without having to learn Java. And that's kind of eventually how I ended up doing things for your server.
Okay, so my server wasn't the first server. You eventually it led to my server basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was that other server? Are they still around?
No, long gone. Was H&R Network was the name of it.
H&R Network.
Hunter and is it bad I don't remember who N stood for? Or H&R. Rob. Hunter and Rob.
Hunter and Rob. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, the precursor to Dream and what's his name? Timmy. Timmy.
No, they don't have anything. Well, kind of. Okay. So funny enough, I didn't know Rob really at all, but Hunter and I stayed friends for a long time. Like, I haven't talked to him in a while now, but
Okay.
like I've definitely talked to him recently still. So that's been like 5-6 years.
Okay. Because the one thing I remember between like meeting you guys, I think I remember meeting you guys through Manny, and
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how it transpired or anything like that. I just remember that one day, I don't know if I was in one of his streams or how exactly it happened, but you and Chaitin both joined my stream at the same time. And we were like, I think early to mid season 1. We were on the realm still. And I think, if I remember right, somebody shot Chaitin down a hole. I don't know if this was the first day or not, but I just remember that's when we'd call him like Luigi, and we were all freaking out because we're like, oh my god. But yeah, that was definitely a good memory, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why season 1 hit so much harder for everybody. Is just because it was a lot closer community at that time, and I don't know. I think it was just hit the right time. You know, we just have the nostalgia for it, really.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, basically, since we're gonna kind of go backwards here a little bit, and since you started coding and all that, obviously, you know, through joining the first server that you did, then helping out on our server doing coding, which pretty much led you to do the stuff that you do for Splatoon. So I kind of would like to dive a little bit further into Splatoon and kind of what drove you to your, I don't know if you have an obsession with Splatoon, but you obviously have a love for it. So I kind of want to know, like, what drew you to Splatoon?
Oh, Splatoon. As a game, Splatoon, I remember seeing the teaser trailer for this game and was like, wow, what an interesting idea for a shooter. It's not just aim and shoot. There's more to it than point and shoot. There's this strategy. There's these movement mechanics that are just like different. And I've never really been into shooters just as a genre, but Splatoon, I don't know. Just seeing the trailer for Splatoon was something different. Like, I want to give this game a try. And the night Splatoon came out, I was actually in driver's ed at the time, and the next morning I had a drive I had to do for class or something. So I was up at like midnight waiting for the game to drop so I could download it and play a few rounds before having driver's ed the next morning.
Nice. And then refresh my memory. Was Splatoon 1 on the Wii U, or was that on okay, so it was originally on the Wii U. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure if I was like kind of like mixing my memory a little bit, because you know how memory can be a little fluid. So I was kind of thinking Splatoon 1 was actually on the Switch, but at the part of me also said it was on the Wii U, so that's good to know. Yeah, because when it first came out, I tried it. I don't know who kind of pushed me to try it. I did have a good time with it, and I think it's a fun game. However, I could just never get into it too competitively.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think there's a decent competitive scene from what I've
Yeah.
seen you guys do, and but yeah, man, I don't know what something has always been a little off for me for it. I think it's the motion controls partially. I think to be really good at that, you need to be able to use the motion and the joysticks in combination. And I always kind of struggled with that. I always struggled with the motions. I'm getting old. I'm slow on reflexes. And on top of that, the older I get, the more shaky I get. So, you know, then all of a sudden I'm like, my camera's like vibrating. So that's never a good situation. So with that, Splatoon comes out, and you know, Splatoon has pretty good success, obviously to the point where they're looking at doing a Splatoon 3. Like, what's your favorite things about Splatoon, and what are some things that you hate currently about the game? And then after that, I kind of want to tail end it off with what is some things that you're looking that or hoping that they change in Splatoon 3.
So I think Splatoon won with a game, at least competitively. I didn't really play. I haven't played either game competitively, really. I mean, I've done a few like teams here and there with it, but my love for the game itself, for better for worse, stems from the community surrounding it. There are some genuinely amazing and talented people that work within the Splatoon community to just do all sorts of different things, from like the things you see on. You just took out a whole four.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to say nothing, but I was happy about that one.
Wow. But no, there's some just amazing, talented people in this community, from art to programming to videos. Just the community is quite amazing. But as a game itself, one of the things about Splatoon 1 that really irked me, and I think like 90% of people would say the same thing, is we had these two abilities called damage up and defense up. Damage up was by far the worst, because people would just get these super annoying weapons and run full damage up, and it was like insane. And if you weren't running full damage up, you weren't winning. So it just like dominated the meta of competitive Splatoon 1, which was definitely annoying from a gameplay standpoint. But then in Splatoon 2, we kind of got away from that. We didn't have those abilities. We don't really have straight up like invincible specials like we did in Splatoon 1. So it definitely brings another layer of competitive strategy and mechanic that maybe was a little bit missing in Splatoon 1.
Okay, so what are your hopes for Splatoon 3 then? Because they just revealed the trailer, I don't know, a couple months ago, and from an outsider, it doesn't look like much has changed. But I know from like, for instance, being really into fighting games and Minecraft, you know, the slightest changes can be world changing. So, like, what are you hoping that they change, or that you know of?
So we've analyzed and overanalyzed that very short Splatoon 3 trailer, and the one thing that really is just like has stood out to me is it looks like there's even more movement mechanics. So not only do you have this where you can, you know, it's unique from other games, like if you control this turf, you can go down, move faster, and there's this extra layer of like movement that we don't see in other games. There's now this like wall jumping, like you can swim up a wall and jump off of that in like a powerful way, is something that we haven't really seen, and
That's
maybe
kind of
don't have
cool.
kind of like a grasp on how it works yet, but something that we've just kind of noted, you know.
I think that's kind of cool. I mean, that's raising the skill ceiling, right? Giving
For
more,
sure.
giving the pros something a little bit more to grasp with, and gives a little bit of. I mean, I think that'd be cool to watch. Just honestly, seeing wall jumping and stuff like that, and being able to see some of the takeouts. Because that's the one cool thing about Splatoon is the weapon variety. They have some really cool weapons that I like the roller. Even though sometimes they're not the best, but they're cool. They're creative, you know. And the whole being able to turn into a squid and the movement in that game is always pretty cool. Oh yeah, we gotta make a comment on this real quick. You're a Steelers fan, huh?
Heck yeah,
What
man.
the hell is this? You're a Big Ben fan, huh? I would have never thought you were a Big Ben fan. Wow. I mean, the Steelers are alright. I have nothing against the Steelers, but they're all. I don't know. I'm just surprised. Steelers fan, huh? We got. I mean, not to totally like go off course here, but how did you become a Steelers fan? Because you like don't even live near Pittsburgh or
No.
nothing like that.
The Steelers, I don't remember who they were playing, but it was like the first Super Bowl I remember watching when I was young, and they won. And
Oh, so you're like this team won. I'm sticking with that team.
Yep.
Apparently hasn't worked out much well or very well for
No.
you ever since, but
You know, honestly, the first Super Bowl I probably remember watching with them winning is probably the last one they've won.
yeah, that's probably like I think like what is that like 2008, 2007. Someone can fact check me on that, but
It
it's
was
around
probably-
that. Yeah, it's around that time. Okay, so let us going back to where we were and the direction that we were on before the whole Steelers thing is so obviously with your love of Splatoon and the community and all that and then with your background of coding, I'm kind of curious on how you became such a big part of the community and like what led you to the production, and becoming a lead at the Endgame TV.
So this is a bit of a long story.
Oh, we
I
got
also-
time. We got time.
And I took notes for this one too. Where are we at? Ink TV. So Ink TV, it was another Splatoon organization that isn't around anymore.
I think
But-
I remember Ink TV.
Yep.
That was
Ink
just
TV.
like a year and a half ago, right? 2 years maybe, or is it
Yeah,
longer?
it was a full year, I think, last month since
Okay.
Ink TV just kind of dissolved. But so all the way back on Ink TV, there was this guy named Spoon. So they ran this super successful tournament series called BNS for Bleck and Spoon, were the two people that it was like their event. So Spoon, there was one time the commentators were kind of like, you know, it's a small tournament on a Thursday night. They were kind of like shooting the shit on stream, like joking around with each other, like, you know, just kind of talking like buddies, whatever. And people kind of got upset, like they're not focusing on the game. This isn't serious or whatever. And Spoon put out this angry tweet that was like, if you think you can do it better, come do it yourself. And I'm like, can I help?
No, I mean that's a good trait to have, right? Kind of putting yourself in the forefront, or on the battlefield, you could say. Because I mean, obviously, it looks like Endgame TV is doing pretty well. I think they hit partner, right? From my recall, or close.
Yeah, it's before my time with EGTV. That's only been a little over a year now. I've been with EGTV.
Okay, so you basically just put yourself out there, and you're like, hey, I want part of this. And so how did that conversation go? Did they like look at your resume, or were they just like, you know what, we like you, we've seen you around in the community, come join us?
Well, yeah, that's like doing stuff with Ink TV. I had been for a little over a year at that point, and I had worked on video work, and I was told by, I think Blake was like, "Hey, we're throwing in the towel after this next event," and I was like, "Okay, I'm not done with Splatoon yet, not quite." So I reached out to who is now one of my like best friends, Toby, and was like, "Hey, don't tell anyone this." And before I even finished, she was like, "Ink TV's going away," and I was like, "What? They told me not to tell anyone. How do you guys know?"
Just saw
And
the
I was
writing
like,
on the wall, maybe.
yeah, right. And I was like, I'm not done with Splatoon yet. I want to help. And she was like, yeah, what do you do? And uh, turn a long story into a bit of a shorter one, I ended up going to Genesis.
Okay. So then at this point, like, so what are your current duties and like what do you do as for like the people who don't know on Endgame TV?
So I started out October 2019 working on video and kind of general like promotion and like animated assets and stuff. And then went to Genesis, and instead of focusing on that, I got to more work on production. I was actually working on audio and lighting, kind of stuff like that. And with just like the best people I've ever got to meet, Toby and Carter. I hope they're watching. I tweeted it out, so maybe they will.
No, they're like I hate fucking attend, dude.
but no, I've just like learned a lot from them, and I was at the time, you know, in college, and I was taking a web dev class and was kind of messing around with, you know, stuff here and there. And Toby's like, "Do you want to work on a graphics package for this event we're running?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So the very first graphic I wrote was like a caster animation graphic for the crown, and then ended up working on the Genesis package. The map list on that screen was the graphic that I wrote, because that was like my second time working on an event like this ever. So I was like, I didn't know too much, but you know, I did take on that one graphic, and that was kind of like my thing.
Okay.
And then from there, you know, it was just kind of day-to-day event stuff. And then it all kind of changed around August 2020.
Okay, so like 6 months ago, roughly.
Yeah. Is what happened is we ran an event called Inkstorm 8. And Toby and Carter both kind of wanted to step down from doing Splatoon stuff. And this was my first major event that I was going to be doing production by myself. The plan was I was going to be running the secondary stream, and this was kind of going to be their last event. And then essentially is what ended up happening is that was kind of their last event. And then I kind of took the helm of doing more like production responsibilities with getting graphics together, not just one graphic, like in their entirety, like all of the stream packages together in full. And then January 2021, it was kind of apparent that Splatoon needed like, not Splatoon as a whole, but EGTV Splat in itself as a team kind of needed like more leadership. So another guy named K-Bot and myself were brought on as leads for EGTV Splatoon.
Okay. So, with the current trend of situations and more responsibilities getting put towards your way, and you willingly wanting to take them on, like, what's your ambitions for Endgame TV? Do you see yourself with them for quite some time, or do you see this as just like a stepping stone into further production over on Twitch and like tournament-wise?
Both. It's a little weird. So EGTV is like a registered company, kind of like in that sense. So it's not just like straight up a group of friends, but also it is kind of a group of friends running tournaments together, sort of thing. But you know, not entirely, but it is at the same time. So I guess one of the things that I've thought about a lot with this is more so in my computer science degree. I'm like, I want to just be a software engineer. I didn't have anything specific in mind, but now having these added responsibilities of working on production and stream graphics and things like that, I really want to pursue a career in esports production. And definitely have been thinking a lot about that. So maybe as EGTV being a stepping stone, but not like stepping on them.
Well, I mean, you use it to bolster your resume, right? That's basically what it is. I mean, it's just like working at a restaurant or working, you know, at wherever, it's basically just bolstering your resume. You can say it's
Mhm.
you're a stepping stone, but it's in the sense of you're gaining and learning like attributes and skills that's going to take you further
Mhm.
in that industry. So then, I mean, we're going to kind of segue here into a little bit like what got you into coding? Like what was your childhood and like schooling like to, because like for me, I'm obviously not really into coding, and like I feel like most people it's not. It's a very like specific skill set, and it's a very acquired taste, you know. It's like maybe it's like one of those situations like where you first have like a cup of like a glass of whiskey, and you know the first time it kind of sucks. Second time you're like it's okay, you know, and then through time you just ended up coming home, you're like, you know what sounds really good right now, that fucking glass of whiskey. So I'm just kind of curious on like how or what happened in life to kind of direct you into this, you know, direct you to this path.
I think from a young age, I was always super interested in technology. Just like one of my earliest memories, I think of just technology and electronics was my mom had this stereo like CD, excuse me, this like CD player, and one day I figured out like, oh, because it was like, early 2000s, like it was big, and I found out that the speakers could come off of each side, and I like did that. Just no particular reason, just a young Devin wanted to see if he could put it back together, and I did. Just plugged in. But I think I've just always had this like drive to tinker and problem solve, and then continuing that into was probably more high school. I think it was freshman year of high school. We didn't our shop teacher retired, and we didn't have a proper shop class. And I think it was there. So back up. I should have added context. Class was it was just your typical high school shop class, but we also had this thing called TSA, which is the Technology Student Association. And
That's the weirdest thing. That's like my typewriter class, man. That's how old I am. But continue.
so we had this organization called the Technology Student Association, and it's like a nationwide thing. I think it's even like in Germany or something now. But so the Montana chapter of it, we do competitions of sorts, and my shop teacher is like, you need to do the line following robot challenge because I think you'd be good at that. And I'm like, oh, I've never done anything like this before. So he gives me an Arduino because apparently we just had those at the school, and he's like, here, go figure it out. So I grabbed some sensors and I did a ton of Googling. And I think after 4 to 5 months of Googling, I made a robot that got from point A to point B. I took third place out of fifth, but the fact that I even beat two people was like enough for me, you know?
So I think like what like I guess like I'm trying to like put a descriptor on like the attributes of someone's psyche to want to approach fucking coding, because I mean I think if I really wanted to I could probably get into it, I could probably figure it out, but like it's just there's so many different languages, there's so many different, I feel like it's very complex. I mean I could be wrong, but it just when I try to think of like a descriptor for it, I think it'd be someone who is, you know, very detail oriented, someone who likes to tinker, because you're obviously going to be doing a lot of troubleshooting. You're going to be doing a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for, where you're basically trying different things over and over again, just trying to find the right
Yep.
answer. People are saying you're lying, but it's fine.
I'm lying.
No, they're accusing each other of lying. It's all good. So I mean, that's kind of like the psyche. I think I would have to kind of equate to it. And so, like growing up, were you? I take it. Were you got any brothers or sisters or anything like that? Or you? Okay, you do. Big
Yeah.
family or small family?
Small. I have a brother and a sister.
Oh, but younger or older?
I have both older. I have
Oh,
a
you're the young
lot
one.
of uncles, though. A lot of uncles. My dad's family is huge.
Wow. Okay, so you're the young one, huh? You're the youngster.
Yeah.
What was it like being the youngster then? Because me being the oldest, my wife being the oldest, you know, like I can kind of like understand the young, but like my youngest brother, has been like nothing but a troublemaker growing up. Always troublemaker, getting into trouble constantly. Stole my car once, and just a big troublemaker. So like, I'm curious, like, did you steal some cars, or I mean, because the youngest sibling's always getting in trouble some way or another.
I definitely didn't steal cars, but I was definitely the troublemaker growing up, for sure.
Okay.
I can say that now. I wouldn't have admitted it in the moment though.
Why do you think
Like,
that
never.
is? Why do you think the youngest is always a little more rebellious than the rest, right? At least
Can
that's
get away with it.
yeah, I guess. I guess when I think back on it, I feel like the youngest always got away with a lot more shit than probably should have. Because like, I guess growing up, the first kid is always the one that gets like, they want to be everything's got to be perfect, you know. And then after a while, they just start giving up. They're too lazy. It's too much work, which is fair. What was that?
Yeah. Feb, is it not your turn? Or
No,
it
it is. I'm just seeing like a weird W on my
okay.
screen.
Yeah, you're good.
You know,
I do the same thing.
wait, is it your turn? No, okay, it is my turn. I mean, I'm totally whooping your ass, by the way. Like, you need you really need to step up your game here. I think, like, how many ships do I got left to get on you? Is like one or two? Well, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's that many ships? There's a lot of ships.
Too darn many.
I got 2 more ships to take out. I just single ships on your end, and then I win. But they're the smallest ships that there's possible, which kind of sucks. So then, what currently like? What is your daily like life's routine like? What time do you go to bed? What time do you get up? What do you do?
Just I'm gonna back up and tell you what the day in the life was like a couple weeks ago, or like a month ago because the last few weeks have been absolutely insane. I think I went to bed at 5:30 in the morning the other day because like I don't know why, I just couldn't sleep. I was up like it was a whole thing. The next day was awful. Never doing that again.
Well, speaking of like rough nights, actually, the other night, I don't know if you saw my Twitter post, but like I think it was like a Tuesday night or something. So we have door sensors like around the whole house. We have like an alarm system basically, and I wake up at like around like 3:15 to a beep beep, which is what happens. The door sensors go off. So like when a door opens, it goes beep beep, you know, and then basically that's how it all works. So I woke up to a beep beep. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then it sounded like the storm gate shut. So then at that point, I was like, it's like, holy shit, did someone just break into the house? Is someone in the house? Like, what the fuck's going on? So then I look at we have like the Ring doorbell, you know, so I look at the Ring doorbell. Because it was the storm gate on the front, you know, that's where the sound was coming from. I look, I was like, no, I don't see nobody in the front door. So I'm like, what the hell is going on, you know? So then I get up, and then I think I hear some steps going upstairs. I'm like, dude, there's someone in the fucking house. Like, what the fuck? There's somebody in the fucking house. So then I sit there and, like, I debate on waking up the wife or not. I'm like, do I just wake her up or just keep... Because I'm starting to think maybe I'm just imagining it all because I didn't see nobody come in the front door. But then deep down on me, I was like, well, there's a possibility it glitched or something, or maybe they hacked it, or who knows what happened. But somehow the camera didn't work. So then I wake up the wife and I'm like, hey, I think someone's in the house. This is a heads up. I need you to be aware just in case whatever's going on, blah, blah, blah. So she gets up. We have a split entry. So basically when you walk from the bedroom, it's like we have the bathroom on the side and it's like the living room and like the laundry room. So you walk up like through a hallway and then you can kind of see the stairs going upstairs and you can see the garage door and the main door. Well, the fucking cat's sitting right there. Like when we get home and stuff, or like when he wants to go be let outside, he'll sit there. You know, so he's just sitting there staring at the fucking door. And then he looks down at me. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, what's going on? Like, what the hell? I was just like freaking the fuck out, you know. So then I'm like, should I grab the shotgun? Like, I don't know if someone's in the house or not. Like, because we didn't hear nothing after that. So I was like, deep down, I was like, okay, maybe I am just imagining some shit. And I'm like on some mad drugs. So I was like, okay, let's just go check the house. We go check the house, and there was nobody there. But that fucked my whole sleep schedule up for the whole week. Like I was waking up at like 4 to 3 o'clock in the morning every night morning, like all this week because of that. So I totally understand something just throwing your whole thing out of whack. But anyways, back to your story here with what your normal day is like.
So recently, a day in the life has been, so let's say a weekday. I wake up at about 7. I've been waking up about 7. Go in, take your shower for the morning, and I live super close to campus, so I don't have to leave that early, which is so nice. So, go outside, warm up the car, head to campus, and on campus we have I believe the full name for it is the Computer Science Success Center or something. Basically, it's a big room for computer science majors only. So I go in there, and because COVID, there's no one else in there, and I got this whole room to myself with plenty of desk space, a whole computer, and I just sit down there, knock out schoolwork for the day, head home.
You a coffee drinker?
No.
How do you stay awake, man?
G Fuel.
I got G Fuel. I guess I've never tried G Fuel. Is it like a energy drink? What is it?
It's like Gatorade, but caffeine.
Okay, so it's like a pre-workout then, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I've never got into that. Like usually, I'm just a big coffee guy. Except when summer comes around, I like to kind of not have as much coffee, and I tend to skew a little more towards energy drinks, just because who wants to have coffee when it's freaking hot out? I'm not an iced coffee guy. I don't like iced coffee, so whatever. So, okay, so then what do you do at night? Like, what do you do after school and all that when you get home? And you're like watching movies with the girlfriend? You just kind of doing schoolwork, watching movies. So you watch the new Justice League movie then?
No.
You haven't watched the Zack Snyder Cut? What the fuck?
We've been binging some like TV shows lately. We've been watching 911, like a Fox show.
Oh my god, that's like the stuff the wife watches, man. She's hard into that like garbage shit. I like a little story in my shows.
No, I've been watching a few. I've been watching Under the Dome, but I can only find the first season, and I don't want to pay for it. So,
what's it called? Onto the Dome.
Under the Dome.
Oh, Under the Dome. Oh, is that where they like live? They're like in a dome thing, and they like that's where the people live or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like a glass dome. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I've been like personally watching The Last Kingdom on Twitch. I don't know if you've watched that or know anything about it. No. Okay, so basically, it's like takes place back before England was England, and they had a lot of issues with like Viking pillagers and stuff like that, and it's like loosely based on like not scientific, like history events. So it's kind of cool because the story was intriguing enough that I was like kind of curious if it was real or not, and I kind of went down the rabbit hole on YouTube, figuring out a lot of it was actually true, which is kind of cool. So I definitely recommend it. I don't know if you like kind of like a Game of Thrones type show, but it's definitely down that alley. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been watching. I've been watching a little bit of like Gundam Wing, like I know normally not Gundam Wing, but it's like Blood Orphans, I think it is. Been watching that as normal, and then the typical YouTube stuff. But yeah, you definitely gotta watch that Zack Snyder movie though. It's like 4 hours long though, so I don't know, did you ever watch the original one?
No.
What the fuck? Alright, so you're not into comics or comic movies, huh? Or did you just watch the Marvel ones, or what?
So I've not watched Marvel ones either. Like, and I should. I need to watch more movies and get kind of, I don't know, more like educated in pop culture stuff. If that's a thing, like but like I haven't watched Infinity War or Endgame or anything. And, like,
that's crazy. That is crazy, dude. I can't believe those are, especially like Endgame and Infinity War. Those two are definitely the most probably cultural zeitgeist media in the at least in the past, like, and at least in our decade, and probably within our lifetime. We'll be probably talking about that kind of stuff to our kids, except you, because you didn't experience it. But it's just crazy. Like,
don't call me out like that.
Watch the movies, and then go on YouTube and watch the theater reactions to the movies. Like when crazy scenes happen, like it gives me chills every time. I'm like, God damn, that was great when I watched it in theaters, because that's the experience everybody had. Everybody had that experience where people would be screaming in the theater and stuff. You're like, because you're like sharing that experience, you know. It's just kind of like when you go to a horror movie or even like a comedy, everybody's laughing or everybody's gasping. It's just you get that like communal experience, which is always really awesome in my opinion. But to kind of divert conversations here a little bit, so like everybody has kind of like these guiding mottos or these philosophies they live by, even if they know it or don't. But do you know, or are you aware of some of these mottos that you have, or
Okay, when you sent me these questions last night, I this is probably something I've been asked before, probably on like a scholarship application or something, and not really known how to answer that question. I
the
spent
older you get, the more companies are going to ask you these kind of questions.
yeah, and just like when I saw this list of questions, that one especially made me think, and I'm like, I gotta do some thinking on this, and this is what I came up with last night: was live to enjoy every single day because life is too short not to. As cliche as that could sound, it's true.
Okay, so more of like not taking things for granted, trying to be fruitful in the moment, um, be humble, right? That'd be what I would equate in there too, is being humble, because you know you realize your time here is finite. And I just won, bitch.
Darn.
I just won. It took me. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I don't know if I gotta send you another invite or what, but I mean,
I just hit play again, and it's
oh.
waiting for a rematch.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. So yeah, like for me, it's always a difficult one, because for me, I'm very there's like what, you know, three types of people. There's the emotional, there's the you know, middle of the road, and then there's the very detached, you know, non-emotional. And I tend to fall in under that line of being unemotional. So I don't really think that way a whole lot. I don't really think of like taking everything in the grasp of the moment. I kind of think more of like, what brings me pleasure, what are my goals long term, kind of situations. So it's more methodical. It's not so much more in the moment. Okay, here we go. But yeah, so that's pretty much how kind of I fall into the situation on that, and which is fair. I mean, I think that's where we're probably a little different. You're probably a little bit more emotional. I think those are just kind of the ways it goes. Have you ever done one of those personality or like color tests? None of those. Okay.
I should, but I know I've definitely not done that.
They're interesting. I'd say, like, if I could, I should, honestly, thinking back retrospectively on it, I think it'd be interesting to do like every year, like one every year, and just keeping track of it and seeing how you progress and how you mature as an adult. I think too many people kind of like focus on like improving their, trying to be like, okay, I gotta fix what I'm bad at. You know, I gotta better this. But I think a lot of time people just need to focus, or people should just focus on, what am I good at? How do I get better at this? I feel like too many people try to kind of get stuck up in that. Because ultimately, especially after you get to a certain point in age, you can only yeah, ban this person. One sec. Ban. Took me a sec. I want to make sure he didn't stay too long.
It's like a spam bot thing.
Yeah, I get one probably once every week, maybe.
Fun.
I still know. I got like this weird like logo thing on my screen. I don't know what that is. Oh, never mind. Figured it out. There's something on my screen. I didn't know what it was, and it was kind of bothering me. It kind of distracted me a little bit. But anyways, I feel like too many people focus on that compared to, like I said, just improving what they're good at and becoming very good at it. Yeah, good job, Wiser. We expected you to catch that a lot sooner. What's that? Did you say something?
Oh no, I was laughing at Wiser.
Okay. So then, since we're talking about like, you know, governing life mottos and stuff like that, like, what are your ambitions? And like you said that earlier in the discussion, that you kind of want to continue down the road of esports production. Do you see that there's going to be a big need for that, or do you think the industry is going to keep growing, and so on and so forth?
I definitely see it growing. The amount it's exploded, I'm not talking specifically Splatoon, but esports viewership and production quality as a whole, even since I started working with Ink TV back in late 2018. I think the market for real marketable production talent and skill is definitely going to be a thing, even given 2 years time when I hopefully can graduate.
Hopefully. You sound you don't sound very confident in that, man.
So
it's a roll of the dice, guys. I don't know.
Here's the thing. This is what really irritates me. I was going over my degree because I had an advising appointment the other day. I was going over my plan for like what classes I'm going to take from here on out and stuff. And I'm like, every class that I've taken, I have passed, and every class that I've taken checks off a box on that degree thing. I think I'm going to graduate a semester late still, which really irritates me because I have never failed a class and I've always taken classes that will like directly check off boxes on this degree. So I'm like, why does it look like I'm not going to graduate in 4 years? Why does it look like it's going to take an extra like one class on one extra semester? That irritates me.
Is that because like is it like weighted or something? Like each one's worth like a different ratio, or?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it and it's like I got to take some things called directed electives. Which are all of the ones that count are under 300 level classes, but I also have to have 300 level or above classes and X amount of credits to graduate. And I'm like, so I'm going to spend time taking these below 300 level classes to check these boxes that aren't going to be counting toward that other requirement, which irritates me.
Okay. So then how do you feel about the whole schooling situation at this point? Being like somebody who's in college right now, and like the whole like loan process and all this, like considering the state of economy and all that, like how do you feel school is? Do you think it's worth going to college nowadays, or what's your opinions on this?
I think going to college is worth it if you know what you want to do. I wouldn't recommend, like, I've got friends that so during orientation we came to campus for 3 days
and just drank like, the whole time.
Yeah. No. They treated us like children those 3 days. Anyway, beyond the point. My roommate during that orientation session, because we were all CS majors on the floor, and this guy didn't really know what he wanted to do. He was just like, I'm just here on a track scholarship. I don't really know what I want to do. And the guy is super cool. We were friends for a while, and he ended up dropping out when COVID hit. He just like couldn't do it. But that's like, he didn't really know what he wanted to do. And I definitely wouldn't recommend anyone to just go to college not knowing what it is they want to do. Like if you know you want to do engineering and you can decide that within the first year, you're going to be fine. But don't go like, well, I have a thing for, I don't know if I want to be an English teacher or a performing artist or something like that, because those are two totally unrelated things, and you're gonna spend
to stop you there. I think the two examples you did right there are just terrible, because engineer and coding is good lucrative jobs, and then you go to teacher and possible arts major, both like dead ends, right? So yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, don't be like, I'm weighing between these two options that are totally polar opposites from each other, and I'm going to spend the first year of college taking classes that aren't going to apply to either major when I pick one. I mean, like, there's a lot of people here that are like, I want to go into engineering, but I don't know if I want to go into computer engineering, civil engineering, electrical, mechanical. Like, it doesn't matter. The first year, all the classes are the same anyway. Go for it.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Like, I have a big stance on that. If you're going to go to college, like you said, pick something that's lucrative and something that is going to be worth it. I think there's such a saturated market right now for just college in general that it's, I think, kind of shooting yourself a little bit in the foot just with the debt and your income coming out just because of all the competition. I lean heavy into people going into trade right now. Either if it's going to a trade school, getting an apprenticeship, something situated like that, and then working your way through there. But like you picked a good avenue to go into, because coding anything computer wise is always going to be there's always going to be roads open for you, and even when it kind of comes down to good old stream production. So, and that's kind of your dreams and ambitions though, to be into that. How big do you want to go into? Do you want to go into like, do you care the game, or do you just want to go into, just doesn't matter the game, just get me into something big like CS:GO or whatever. What's the other one, like League of Legends and stuff?
Yeah,
You want to go that big?
Like,
Yeah, give you something.
Like right now, so EGTV kind of has 3 different parts to it. Not only do we do Splatoon, we also do Smash and Mario Kart Wii.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. And see, I don't really focus on the other 2. Like I might do a little Mario Kart stuff in the upcoming. We have a huge event coming up. That's on the Twitter if you want to. Like, someone made that trailer. I don't know who, but
I did see that trailer actually. Yeah, I did see that. It was Mario Kart, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I saw that. I didn't know that was coming out until like a couple hours before it did, and when I saw the trailer, I was like, wow. Like, yeah, I don't know, but like, mainly like esports, I'm just like, put me in something, because either way, that's part of the thing I said about like, what I said about like live to enjoy every day, is the thing is, I don't necessarily want to work 40 hours a week in something I don't enjoy doing, which was the whole reason like I want to go into computer science, because I like doing this. Like, I don't want to dread going to work in the morning, and I've luckily never had to deal with that. Like, I used to work at a grocery store, but I liked the people I worked with. Going to work was like, it wasn't necessarily a huge chore or anything, which was so nice. And that's definitely the thing I think I want to do with any future careers. Make sure that it's something that I'm going to enjoy and want to get up and go to work in the morning,
Okay. So then, like, if we had to say, like, 10, 15 years from now, like, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself, like, with kids? Do you see yourself, like, where do you get living in LA? Like, what? Where do we see you?
Never living in California, ever. No.
That's fair. California's pretty bad.
Houses and high taxes. No, thank you. But no. I think in 10 years from now, hopefully, probably be living in either Texas or Seattle.
Texas? Why for Texas?
Why Texas? Good question. Texas definitely has a lot of tech jobs.
That's true. I've been seeing a lot about Texas becoming the next, like, San Francisco, Valley area. So yeah.
Yeah, Dallas definitely has. Dallas has quite a few CS related jobs, and like Boca Chica now with SpaceX building their next rocket down on the southern tip of Texas. There's a lot of jobs there too that would probably, maybe not specifically in southern Texas, but definitely software engineers needed in that type of work. And so yeah, I'd love to live in Texas, but I think Seattle is kind of where I do want to go, just because there's that extremely high concentration of computer science jobs just in the Seattle area. I mean, like, Twitch, Nintendo, Microsoft, I think Uber, like, there's so many large tech companies in the Seattle area.
Okay. Yeah, you just gotta be careful of the housing inflation that tends to happen with that area. You don't want to be spending a couple million for like a 500 square foot house in LA. Shit's nuts. I mean, there's a couple people here that, like, in the stream that live over in LA, like Austin and like Romeo and all. Romeo's saving up to buy a house in LA. I'm like, you're nuts, dude. You're nuts. That's crazy. Like, I'll just move far away. Move far away, Romeo. Move far, far away. But that's crazy.
California.
So do you? I know. So do you do you want kids growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. I think me and the girlfriend are on the same page on that. We've definitely talked about that.
What would you name them? Is one of them going to be named Feb?
Yeah. Gotcha, middle name.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I like to hear. That's what. Okay, you can delete the ban. We don't need to ban him, guys. He said he's going to do it. Oh man. So so like what concerns do you have then moving forward, like in future, like career wise and all that, and even just in, besides life, obviously death is probably like the biggest thing people are usually, thinking about. But like fear wise, like career wise, like do you have any concerns? Or I mean, I think you're going in a pretty good market, honestly. Like I don't think there's much to be concerned about. Because I think you have the skill set and you show the, what's the word I'm looking for, the ability to keep learning and adapting. So, but I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here. You tell me.
Yeah, I think I definitely, well, I'll give you an example of something I was nervous of a little earlier this year. I'm probably safe saying this on stream. I interviewed for an internship at a esports company.
Oh shit!
Earlier
Let's
this year.
go. And it didn't go well.
I got to the final round of interviews and did not get it.
Oh damn, dude.
But, yeah. But that company was acquired by Microsoft. So I was interviewing for a Microsoft internship. I have applied for another Microsoft internship that would, by my understanding, essentially, it's more geared. I gotta stop and think what I can and can't say on stream, or just publicly at all. Yeah, so I applied for a different internship that is more geared toward sophomores in college, which is me. So I'm hoping I have a little better chance at that one, and that allows you to kind of pick an area of interest. It's called like the Explore internship, and you can pick areas of interest within Microsoft and kind of check those out. So I could pick the Microsoft sports and esports team and essentially end up doing that other thing that I did not end up getting.
That'd be kind of dope, though. I mean, you have to let me know, like privately after this, a little bit more of the details. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. That's exciting. Like I thought about like would I want to be part of esports ever and stuff, and I don't know if I would. Not at least not background scene wise. It's just I don't enjoy doing like setups and like like I didn't mind redoing the whole like logo design and stuff, but like otherwise like doing that every day end on end, like I feel like I'd just go nuts. It's just I don't know, it's just a lot, especially coding. Sure. Yeah, especially coding. I'd get too big of a headache, and just I'm getting too old too, right? I'm too much set in my ways. It's learning a big skill set like that just a little too hard for me, I guess, and I'm just getting old. So then, like, besides like your obvious hobbies and all that, like, what do you do, man? Like, I feel like we've learned a lot about like your like desire for coding and your passion for some games and schooling, but other than that, I feel like we still don't know what you normally do, like for fun, like besides watch the fucking Steelers.
Watch the fucking Steelers. Okay.
What is that?
What was that?
What is that? Is that a mug behind you? What is that? A mug and a picture of a mug? Okay. He's getting it, boys. He's getting it. Yeah, how you doing, Romeo? I'm doing pretty good, man. He's getting us this this lovely and he uses army time too, guys. He uses army time. Look at this.
You want a little tour here?
Yeah, we see that you do army time too.
Are you army time?
No, you are. It says 1604.
It's a 604.
Oh, it looks like there must be a glare. It looks like a 16.
Yeah, so this is a little mug my girlfriend painted for me.
Oh wow, okay, that's actually kind of cool. Oh, it's in space. Gotcha. As he breaks it.
It's a painting she made of us.
Wow. I mean, you're a big hat dude? Big hat guy?
What?
You a big hat guy?
Yeah, recently I kind of have been. Here, we're gonna pull up a photo. This is a painting of a photo.
Okay, yeah, because I'm a big hat guy myself. I like wearing hats. Partially because I'm going bald, but you know.
No, so let me. Can I hold up? I can probably get away with covering this up on stream, but just to give you an idea of how I can do this somehow.
So right now, guys, he is pulling out his weed stash and he is trying to What are you doing? I just don't show nothing that can't be shown. Okay, yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
That's kind of
wow.
what I
Okay.
look like normally.
Okay.
Like that's my student ID. I didn't want to show my ID number to the whole Twitch.
Yeah. You don't want that shit leaked. I have bad experience with that.
Here, give me 1 second. I can find the picture this was painted of. There we go. This is that's actually my phone, a screenshot of my phone background, but that's the picture.
Oh, okay. May 23rd. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Better than I can paint and draw.
It's also something super artistic. It's super cool. I have a lot of things.
Oh, damn. It's like Splatoon. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. I really love it. Yeah, I've got stuff on display. You can't see the rest yet. That back there, that's a painting she did.
Okay.
On landscape. I've got another one up on this wall and another couple drawings kind of up in front of me that you can't really see.
So, are you staying in a dorm then, or where are you?
No, I have an apartment. Never doing a dorm again. That was awful.
Okay. Yeah, living with other people can always be a pain in the ass, especially when you have no control over them or the situation.
Yeah, but see, I have a roommate now, but we have a 2-bedroom apartment. So like we each have our own space and we like each other. My randomly assigned college roommate on campus he was a thing. He didn't tell me this. I found this out because his last name sounded similar. His parents own a really successful brewery in town, and I didn't know that about him.
No.
He never told me that.
He should have been giving you a lot more beer, if you ask me.
Yeah. So he worked there. I knew he worked there because like I went to go eat there one night and I looked back and was like, is that my roommate? Because they do like pizza and stuff, and
Okay.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's my roommate, and I couldn't really tell. And anyway, like whatever, went back to my dorm. He came in the room later that night and was like, I was like, hey, how was your pizza? And I'm like, that was you. And he's like, yeah, I made it. But he just always failed to mention his parents owned the place.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he didn't want to like really like air it out too much. He didn't want like everybody kind of harass him about it. That's fair. But anyways, we kind of got off topic there a little bit. Let's kind of let's like retract a little bit and discuss like what you actually do besides what you kind of described to us. Yeah.
Yeah. So is what I do besides the things that you do know about me. Recently kind of picked up mountain biking.
Ooh, okay.
Not mountain biking, but
doing a little bit like off-roading, biking a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Or even biking around town. This area is super like very, very super kind of hilly and definitely has a bunch of elevation changes. So like I went on I think last summer because it's been super snowy here and cold and I haven't really been able to get out and bike. Last summer though, I was biking 5 to 10 miles a day was kind of what I was doing just because I was trying to get fit and stay fit, stuff like that. That's what I was doing for fun. I plan to do it again this summer.
Yeah, it's something you definitely got to do. You got to try to take care of yourself a little bit because older you get, the harder it is. And then especially when you start putting in other responsibilities such as work and, family life, stuff like that. I always struggle a little bit with that. The one thing that keeps me at least in a good direction is dirt bike season because like I have to be in a decent shape for that because if I'm not, I'm just dying for like after an hour being out there, and I have to drive an hour and a half to get out there, so it's kind of like I want to be out there all day, so I have to be in the shape to be out there all day because it's no fun going out there riding for an hour and be like, all right, time to pack it up and go home. But it's like, fuck, man, the drive was longer than the actual ride, so that's always good. So do you have any like do you collect anything? Are you a collector?
I have a couple collector's items.
I mean, do you like collect coins, cards? Like,
no.
Okay.
No.
I just figured since you're like a big like detail oriented, statistical kind of guy, maybe be into like Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I've never managed to get into that quite.
Maybe it's before your time, right? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit. I don't really remember. I mean, I definitely remember kids playing like Pokemon on the DS and whatever, but I don't remember like the cards ever.
Okay. Yeah, dude. For me, man, the cards came out when I was in like fifth grade, I think it was, and I was totally, or fifth or fourth grade, one of the two. I was totally obsessed with it, and I remember bringing like I had like the one of those starter pack things with like all the cards I brought to school, and then someone stole it, and oh man, I was pissed. And then I look back now, I'm like, man, those cards would have been worth a lot of money if I would have kept them. I had so many of those fucking cards, and I'm throwing them away. But yeah, DSs, man. I never had a DS because like growing up, I had like the Game Boy Color, and that was pretty much where I stopped until the Switch, really, for handhelds. I'd never been big into the handheld scene. But I do remember, like in high school and stuff, people would have their DS and they'd be playing their like Metroid Prime, I think it was, on there. It was pretty badass. I was like, dude, that's really cool. But I never had it myself. So what are you playing nowadays besides like I don't know, like what have you been playing? Have you been playing anything or
I've been
Rocket League?
playing excessive amounts of Rocket League and
Really?
GTA.
What's gotten you so into Rocket League? It's kind of a new obsession for you, right? Like at least 6 months.
God, it probably goes back to 20, probably 2018.
Really?
It's
Okay.
been a while. I always do this thing where I don't touch the game for a long time, and then all of a sudden I start playing it several hours a week for a few months, and then I rinse and repeat.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair. I
yeah,
kind of go through the same situation.
yeah, no, for sure. But like, Rocket League has always been appealing to me. Is like it has good esports potential, and it is a mainstream esport now. But I think Rocket League truly could be the game that breaks esports into being truly mainstream, like something people are watching on ESPN. I think Rocket League could be that because
It's more
it's
sports
soccer.
like, yeah.
Yeah, get the ball in the goal. Like you can understand that. Like I look at League of Legends. I've never played League of Legends before. I have no idea what's going
Like
on.
what the
Like
fuck is going on here?
yeah,
Boots and what about these boots and gloves and
yeah, right.
yeah, no,
Like it's
yeah.
just so hard to understand what's going on. And even more like minor esports, like or maybe not minor. I was in my mind thinking Splatoon, but like even let's say like Valorant, CS:GO, like those games definitely have a learning curve to even understanding what's going on. And games like Rocket League or even Mario Kart, those they don't have that learning curve. Like Rocket League, straightforward, ball and goal. And then from there, you learn the more things like, oh, what that did was really impressive, but that's more like football. Get the ball from one end to the other. Like you can have that basic understanding just by having someone tell you that, or just understanding that.
Okay. Yeah. I totally understand. I totally agree. I think it's a good analogy or a good not analogy, but good analyst. What did I'm like fumbling on words now. It was good. I was having troubles with the word there, but yeah, it was a good examination of it. Pretty much, I think it's pretty good. I personally have never been big into Rocket League. I have some fun with it here and there, but I don't know. It just like I always had such a hard time with the controls of it. It's very hard.
For sure.
It looks way harder than it is. Like getting those like flying hits with the ball is always way harder than it should be. But like you said, there's definitely a market for it. I don't know if Rocket League's gonna be around long enough for it. I had to look at the statistics of it. I feel like the downside of a game like Rocket League is it's casual enough for some of the newer guys and hard enough for some of the more hardcore guys, but I feel like it's just not in the meta where it needs to be right now for like the Twitchverse, right? I feel like the Twitchverse is pretty much set in, League of Legends, Valorant kind of games, and I mean that's not really for everybody. But do you have anything else that you'd like to discuss? Anything you want? Yeah, anything you want to bring up, or anything you have questions or anything like that before?
I want to know. I got a question for you. So in your whole out, you have a lot of things you do outdoors.
Yeah.
Did you? I want to know about you. Did you grow up in a rural area? Did you, or are you just attracted to the outdoors for some other reason?
I grew up in a fairly normal sized town. I mean, my graduating class was roughly about like 800. So I mean, it was, you could say suburbish, but it wasn't very suburban. It was a little bit further from the metropolitan area. Um, but what it kind of led to me is I just, when I was younger, I kind of started fishing and I enjoyed fishing. It was what some of my other friends did, and then that was pretty much the catalyst to everything else outdoors. From there, I enjoyed fishing. Then I wanted to start hunting, and then you know, dirt biking was a little different for me. There was this one movie on Disney growing up. It was called Motocross, and there's these people that were riding dirt bikes and all that, and I thought it was so cool. I was like, dude, dirt bikes are the best. And growing up, I wanted to totally, do dirt biking and ride motorcycles and that. So that was always a lifelong goal of mine. And after I got out of high school, my dad said I couldn't have a motorcycle, but when I eventually moved out on my own, I went and bought my own motorcycle, and that's pretty much how that left from there. That actually introduced me to my wife, was a motorcycle. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so motorcycles is always something. But yeah, no, it's just kind of, I just naturally gravitated towards that. It was just one thing led to another to another. It's just a natural progression of outdoors, and if I ever have kids, it's definitely gonna be something I want to try and instill in them. Especially nowadays, it's too easy to get wrapped up and enthralled in online or
Sure.
digital media. So it's kind of, I think it's more important now, more than ever. Your graduating class, though, how big was your graduating class? Like 12 people?
Two.
Holy shit, that is nuts. Did you go to high school with your girlfriend?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say she's the other one.
No, the other kid's my cousin, though, if that makes it better or worse.
That's crazy. Two other people. So your graduating class was 3 people?
No, two. It was
two.
Me and my
You
cousin.
you and your cousin. Jesus Christ. That is insane. 2 people. Holy crap. That is nuts.
And like as the 8th grade graduating class when I graduated high school was 1. So it wasn't just my class was some like outlier in like being small. It's just that's how it is. The class 2 classes before us was 2.
That's crazy.
I think the class before that was 4. Like it is just that small.
So you gotta live like in a really rural area. I take it. You don't say where, but yeah, that's crazy, man. That is insane. 2 people, 1 person. That's gotta be lonely. Did that have like an effect on you growing up at all? Like just not many people your age.
For sure. Like in high school, I definitely felt like my high school was roughly, through the time I went through, was like 20 to maybe as low as 16 even people. So like that's a small group for a whole high school, and even within that, it's like there were only ever a few people that I would like be close friends with, just because like there aren't people that share those same interests, or even
Yeah, being able to find like suitable friends is gonna be, your odds are lower because there's just less people.
Yeah, and like you know everyone well, almost everything about them. You talk to them every single day, but I don't think that's something I realized until getting out of high school. It's like, were most of those people my friends, or just you're just around them all day? And it, not to say like they were bad people, it's just like maybe not people I related to with on a super personal level.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because you kind of like what's like foothold it into a situation where you don't want it to be awkward or have enemies, especially if there's only a couple people. So you be friends or be friendly and nice to everybody, but deep down you're just like, we're not really, we're more of an acquaintance in my eyes than actual friends.
Yeah.
So do they combine ages and stuff and like combine teachers, or how does that work?
So a lot of classes, yes. So actually most classes, I think almost everything except math is combined. Like English, you would have like 9-10 English and 11-12 English. With math, it was pretty just by class. But like your teachers end up doing more than just like like when our counselor also ends up being the head basketball coach and the history teacher, like there's just, it's so weird.
Yeah,
or like
they're
our athletic director also teaches science, government, and driver's ed. Like,
yeah, they got to be more well-rounded just because
yeah,
the staff is going to be a lot smaller. Okay, interesting. That's actually kind of cool. Learned something new today. Huh, okay. Well, did you have any other questions, or are you good?
I'm good if you are, but like,
All right, cool.
if you want to keep going.
Well, I would no. I mean, I think this is definitely a good amount of time. I think we kind of hit the course, and all that. I want to thank you for coming on and being the first one for sure. It was a good time. It was a good learning experience, and got to learn a little bit more about you. I think everybody else got to learn a little bit more about you as well, and hopefully somebody or everybody took away something from here today. So, yeah, thank you, Ninten. I do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I was super excited when you asked me. Like, definitely trying something new. Like, I really appreciate you thinking of me, having me on today.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, like I said, you're now in the content creator industry, and you've been doing a lot of cool things over there with Endgame TV and Ink TV. So I was kind of, sat there in my head a little bit, thought about it. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, we'll go ahead and put some links up here to Ninten's channel, so you guys can go ahead and check Ninten. Usually playing, I think, Rocket League or doing some other coded kind of stuff. But other than that, I think we're gonna end it there. All right, it was good seeing you, Ninten. I'll talk to you later, man. Have a good one.
You.
All right, guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. It was a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely a fun time. I think we're going to continue doing these throughout the road. I'm working on having another person next week, or not next week, but in a week or two. We'll see how it goes. Scheduling, if you guys have any suggestions on people you'd like to see, go ahead and send me an invite or send me a DM on Discord or Twitter or whatever it may be. If you guys haven't already, make sure to hit that follow button, finger bang it. And until then, guys, I'll see you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. So have a good night, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. And bye. I don't know where I'm going.